So today my point of discussion is going to be geared towards a level of understanding regarding aspects of this world and how I generally comprehend it and how I maneuver within it. I personally believe that ultimately our psychology can be manipulated over time if we're not careful, and that's fine, right? The deceptive people in this world, however, the world is governed, and it's only through true governance does this world reach a level of fruitfulness, I suppose, or fruitful living. As without that, it just becomes way more complicated, and there's a number of different things that involve that aspect of reality. However, what I'd like to share, because for me the intention is I understand the meaning of knowledge and the power that it holds and its purpose. Besides that, but I think that we have to be careful for a multitude of reasons. So I recently acquired the following book. It's not the first one I've had. I have another copy. As you can see here. As you can see here, there was a bit of clarity. So I got The Art of War. It's not my first copy. I've got another copy somewhere, but it's more so a paperback and it's very small. It doesn't really have that much power and validity to it. I think, again, it's a beautiful book composed of a multitude of chapters. However, it also involves a multitude of chapters. And including also quite interesting illustrations when necessary, but that's just a few. There's definitely a couple here, and it's gonna be a while before I digest this book, as I'm still sort of in the Japan region of things at the moment. However, I think that me acquiring this book is what I ultimately like to discuss, and the process that I undertook to get that, and why that's important, and why that has a level of validity to it, right? I basically ordered off Amazon, and as you can see here on my Amazon account, I ordered this book here. I actually ordered it twice, I believe. So initially I ordered the book. I don't know why that order is not actually showing here, but basically I ordered it, and then I cancelled that initial order that I ordered. So if I just double check here, so as you can see here, amongst my my cancelled milk things here, I ordered the book on the 28th of July, and this here was to be delivered on that was to be delivered on the 30th, ultimately on the 31st of July, using standard shipping, and then I got offered a free Amazon Prime. And then at that point there, I was like, with free Amazon Prime, everything should be fine. So I ordered the Egyptian Book of the Dead, because the reason why I ordered that is because I'm studying stacks and aspect of the afterlife, right? Because I'm trying to unravel specific things, or bring about specific. There's a relevance to that, which I will expand upon later. But if you know the concept of stacks, and sort of other things there, which is an altered carbon thought thing, And so I then thought I ordered both of them to come on the 29th of July. But then I realized that that wasn't actually what I was after. That wasn't my ultimate intention. So what I did is I cancelled this particular order here, right? The one that was to come on the 28th of on the 29th of July, and I only got the Egyptian Book of the Dead on the 29th. And then I made a specific order for a specific date to be delivered on the 31st of July, right? And so I returned the order that I previously, this order here which I cancelled, I returned that on a specified date. So if you're gonna copy me, make sure you return it the same way, and you pretty much put it in the same place. And then on this day here, and then and then on the same day I ordered this one here to come on a specified date, which was the I ordered this to come on the 31st of July, right? And basically that was the purpose of that. And I think that, you know, when we come to really understand the importance of knowledge, which I try to help share between people, especially family members and things of that nature, to help them come to the level of understanding of the world that is ultimately relevant. So I ordered this on the 31st. The reason for that was for me to be specific about it, you know, because I feel numerology is very important, and as I say, things align accordingly with the various concepts that exist in this world. I'm not at war in any sense, but I suppose it's a spiritual warfare thing. You know, there's a lot of people out there that like, I don't know, man. There's just people out there that are just nonsensical, man, and they just chat a lot of shit to the people that will listen, or the people that will believe in their lies. And so, you know, it's composed of 13 chapters, right? So that's 31 backwards, and delivered on the 31st there, which is also of relevance. But then if you add those numbers together, you get 4 and 4, which is 44. Add those numbers together, you get 8, which is obviously 8. But then if you turn that sideways, you get infinity. You get the sign for infinity ultimately, and that's the sort of relevance I tried to sort of outline here, because I think that when you're receiving special or particular knowledge, it's very important that you honor that knowledge, and you take it in with the level of care and appreciation for it. And that's why I undertook that particular action, to bring that particular reality into manifestation. Not to bring any particular reality, but to bring significance to the knowledge in which I am receiving, right? And the knowledge ultimately determines what one is or who one becomes. And I think that, you know, sometimes you can have shallow knowledge, right? Knowing is very fecal. It is power, of course, to a degree, but it's only power in the way that you can utilize the knowledge and information. And I think that what you know is not just knowing about people, knowing about something, or you know, that type of thing. It's more so about what ultimately determines the strength and power of knowledge is what you can do with it, and your ultimate understanding of it, right? And I think that's where that sort of comes in. And I think that a lot of people make a lot of rules, a lot of sets and things like that, and they go ahead with their things of you know, being ahead, but it's all nonsense. Like I was saying before, you know, there's a lot of people in Greek history, right, that we know about, but some of them are just sort of like not really to my regard, that gracious. So for example, you know, this information was preserved for a very long time, and it's still here the way that it is. But some other people, is not the same way, and we only have these sort of obscure references, which are ultimately valid, I'll make a short video about that later. But again, at the same time, I think that I definitely honor these things being passed down to me over time, and I think that in the meantime, right, there's a lot of people that will be deceived, but the ones that are deceived aren't amongst us. They don't walk with us. They don't sit and eat with us. They are amongst themselves, and yes, they have the things in them that make them feel as though, you know, they're greater or whatever the case may be, but we in truth, you know, just have to operate a bit higher than that. And I think that, even some people that have authority in specific lands, it don't mean shit. A lot of the time it don't mean shit because what's happening is that, the world is looking at you. And not just the world today, but the world across time is looking at you. And through that, it's our judgments comes to manifest. You can trick a few people, but that's because, we understand that it's just ego that's driving that, that's moving that, right? Whereas the others, man, it's impossible, man, and it's nonsensical. For me personally, I don't really care, but I have a heart, and I have memories and experiences that are within this body, which I have to honor, right? And unfortunately, having that only would be the driving factor. And I'm just, and I can't apologize, and I can't save you. That's what it is. So I'm telling you that I'm gonna put this information here, and you can save yourself, and that's it, right? Nobody cares about what children or anything like that, or nobody cares about, what people say, the lies that they tell. What's more valid in this world are the actions that you do, and these are the teachings of this master that I've met here, who will open my mind to think greater. Because to me, I think that if we open our doors to you, right, and you become a manipulative prick, and if we are generous and open-hearted, and then you take advantage of that, right, you're an issue. And once that has been confirmed and verified, right, it's never a good thing. But it's just basically how the wise amongst us undertake what it is that we undertake, because we know and understand that we have to be in right for standing to correctly introduce aspect of judgment, and you know what and you know the power you hold and how you use it. But don't be sad when you find out that power that you hold and that you use is actually a cursed thing based on the source of where it originates, right? So for me, in understanding these teachings, what I am taking is the understanding of the moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, method, and discipline. These are the vital things that will shape my ultimate conception of what it is that I seek to do in this world, and to also understand others who do what they do. I only know what my world is. You can do whatever you want to do. You can... yeah. That's what I can pretty much say in that regard. But yeah, if you're going to copy me, you got to do these things exactly the same particular way, and I think that ultimately what you take on with you is beyond your own self and being. Personally, I understand the world to be a much more different place than most people do, and we hold different values, and yeah, and I'm alone, but I always feel that my voice is greater than most of what most people can comprehend. There's this saying of, like, people hold degrees, but they don't ultimately know how to use them, you know. And the thing that drove them to that wasn't the initial passion that it should have been, but it's the intention for survival and blah 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 blah. Whereas, we all understand that the purpose of that is always should be the passion that drives an individual, whatever it is. Not the intention to be known, not the intention to be famous, not the intention. You can be famous for the thing that you're passionate about, but I think some people are very ultimately confused regarding these things. So yeah, that's all to share about my order and how that pans out. But I think let the dead speak.